the Women's Super League. The greatest league in the world, I'd say, just purely from entertainment value, particularly on social media. It's January, meaning the league is returning from break, so for the first video on my channel, I thought it'd be interesting to take a look at each team's season so far, so if you want more content like this, please subscribe. Yes, the order is alphabetical because you little overanalyzers scare me. You know, it seems fitting that we start the video with this. The season opener was against Man City, where the game ended 2-2. The two teams were pretty even throughout the game, with Medema scoring against her former club. Then things started to head south pretty quickly for Arsenal. They drew to perennial relegation battlers Everton, got smacked by perennial harders Bayern, once a chill, always a chill, then lost to London rivals Chelsea. Mind you, this was a 3-game stretch. The Swedish man lost his job, and he left a legacy of literally only playing white players, I guess. Look, the Caldente signing has been great, but I don't know how much of that was Arsenal compared to that club simply being Love Island FC. Like, I don't think there's any upper management involved in that transfer. Wait, she's actually rumored to be dating Anna Maria Krnočović? I can't keep up. Losing Minima was bad. Russo has been good, but she's not as much of a goal-scoring threat as Minima. Like, you got rid of the wrong partner? You know what I mean? Mead has fallen off. Things you love to see. Little Miss, I don't think there's racism in women's football. Shut up! Entering the second half of the season, though, it's clear Renee Slegers has transformed this team. They're playing close to expectations, and she just won Manager of the Month. They're going to replace her, aren't they? The team are currently 10-1 under Slegers, with their only draw being against a semi-revived Manchester United. They somehow also beat Bayern Munich on the last game day of the year under her management. However, it seems title hopes are gone, given being 7 points behind Chelsea at the break, and they've already played them early in the season. The club is currently third in the league, only 1 point behind Manchester City. If the club manages to finish second, the season probably could be considered a success. However, this isn't going to be easy. Leah Williamson hasn't looked great since returning from her ACL injury. Madam has been inconsistent, and you really need her to play well in order to win games. And, well, you know how I feel about Beth Mead. Maybe Maxinius will give you guys a last-minute wonder goal to beat Man City again. Let's see if that gives Chelsea the title again, too. Seventh place. Woof. I don't know why hopes are always so high for Villa, honestly. Like, yeah, there's Rachel Daly, but, like, that's kinda it. Villa does have former stars like Jordan Nobbs, Noel Maritz, and Kenza Dali, but they're all in the twilight stages of their careers. There are some young options alongside Daly like Ebony Salmon and Katie Robinson. The latter isn't really getting playing time, making her departure from Brighton a little more head-scratching. However, it's important to consider the absolute head case coaching turnover has been. Back in 2023, Carla Ward signed a deal through the 2024-25 season, and then left before that season even began. The club was entering this season with a new head coach in Robert DePaul, and he's gone. Well, new year, new coach, I guess. That being said, there have been some highlights. Holding Manchester United to a 0-0 draw. Oh wait, that's literally it. I think we all knew how the season was going to go with the loss to Charlton Athletic in the preseason. Realistically, Villa's best case scenario is jumping from 7th to 6th in order to inspire some new player transfers in the summer, especially as the talent pool will become increasingly visible during the Euros. I mean, behind Tottenham, the club that advocated for a closed WSL system is kind of disgraceful. Their first league game is against Everton, and I don't think it's a stretch to say that's a must-win game. They're tied on points with them in Liverpool. Oh my god, is the vision finally working? If you told me that Brighton would be ahead of Liverpool in the table by January, I would have assumed Elizabeth Turland didn't leave. Brighton lost a lot in the summer transfer window, but they also had a pretty star-studded incoming class. Chelsea legend Fran Kirby and the underutilized Jelena Kankovic from Chelsea, Japan's Kiko Sieke, and Michelle Ajamong on loan from Arsenal. Given Arsenal's track record, this loan may turn into a permanent thing. They really started the season firing on all cylinders in October, beating Aston Villa 4-2 in a statement win where all their talent was on display. Bremer, Paris, Kirby, Ajamang, oh my god, it's like investing in your team gets good results. Crazy. 2 games later, they drew with United, courtesy of Nikita Paris scoring against a former club. This man can't do anything right. Their first game back from break is Liverpool, but they should be careful as Hobinger and Hogg are expected back. They then have a game against Manchester United following that, so we'll see if they keep up their form. Even if they don't, they have a slight cushion as Tottenham are still 6 points below them at 6th. If things play right, though, they might challenge United for 4th. Man, I feel so bad for the rest of the league. Emma Hayes leaves, and they replace her with Sonia Bonpastor, who hasn't lost since she took the job this summer. Chelsea must enjoy just seeing Arsenal, United, and City rip each other apart each season just for Chelsea to come out unscathed. That being said, Chelsea have dealt with a lot of injury issues to start the season, but somehow that doesn't seem to matter based on their results. Just a reminder also, Sam Kerr and Mia Fishel are expected back soon, so it's just going to get worse for everyone else. Actually, I have no idea what's going on with Kerr. What the? Even with things going wrong, they find a way. Like, Gora Wrighton has 0 assists in the Women's Super League this season. But she's now a goal-scoring threat? Like, has hell frozen over? What timeline are we living in? If they don't get a midfielder or center back this transfer window, though, it's hard to see them winning anything beyond England. Like, they're relying on 19-year-old Rika Kaptan to hold down the midfield. As for defenders, Bronze is, as expected, very inconsistent and has also noticeably dropped in pace. So you need faster center backs than Bright and Bjorn when Bronze inevitably gives the ball away. I would also be slightly worried about Hannah Hampton's downward turn in form. Sorry, the fact that Chelsea are 6 points clear of second place City after the break is crazy. Like, it's embarrassing for the rest of the league. Even better for Chelsea, their first game back in the league is against West Ham. So yeah, my guess is that they're not going to drop points anytime soon. Okay, to be fair, this isn't really Palace's fault. Every promoted team from the Championship is essentially expected to get relegated that season.
We just need money.
They are doing better than expected, though, if that's any consolation. I mean, they have 5 points halfway through the season. Bristol City only had 6 points the whole year last year. So yeah, Laura Kaminsky has done a great job with this side, and they're also handling business when they play teams that are still in the Championship. And honestly, there's a potential for them to stay up. Somehow they're only 1 point behind Leicester City, a team they did beat earlier in the season, and they're only 3 points behind West Ham. Only one team gets relegated, so if they get a good result here and there, it's possible. Oh god, they play Arsenal first. I honestly think Everton's whole game plan entering the season was just to hope Aurora Ghali scores. Which, I mean, on paper, not horrible. However, she did immediately tear her ACL in the first league game, so there's that. Even worse, it was a 4-0 defeat to Brighton. There's nothing much to say about their season so far, aside from the fact they somehow beat Manchester City in the final league game before break. I don't know how they did that. Everton are also caught up in whatever buffoonery trio this is. They have won 2 games only, and injuries have not been kind. To be fair, Everton seems to know the predicament they're in, having already signed multiple players this January. They got Barca youth star Martina Fernandez on loan, French striker Kelly Gago, and Emma Watson. Wait, sorry, wrong picture. Manchester United youngster Emma Watson to hopefully compete in a depleted midfield. Wait, what was that? They got Hayley Ladd? How? Ladd is coming off a huge international break where she helped Wales defeat Ireland to qualify for the Women's Euros this summer. I honestly don't know how they pulled this off. Will it be enough to jump Liverpool though? A better chance is that Villa stumbles more than they already have. Yeah, I don't think this season will get any better. To be fair, they entered the season with a new manager after Willie Kirk was found to have a relationship with a player.
And I think player-coach relationships, they're inappropriate.
And that's all she said. I don't need any of y'all's little think pieces. The team is currently battling relegation and are completely dependent on 36-year-old Janice Kamen. Oh yeah, can't forget about Ruby Mace also.
I'm not a lesbian, guys. No offense to no lesbians, but that's not for me. But I'm not homophobic though, I don't.
However, they somehow held Chelsea to a draw their last league game of the year. So hey, anything is possible, I guess? Missy Goodwin might be able to turn her and their season around. Probably not though, I don't know. After finishing 4th last season, it's pretty fair to say the team has underwhelmed this year so far. I mean, they started the season by drawing to Leicester and West Ham, back-to-back fully relegation candidates. And this was before Hogg and Hopinger got injured too. They started to get their season back on track by beating Tottenham and they drew to Crystal Palace, okay. They are managing to get results against the mid-tier teams, but what's the point if you can't get past the relegation candidates? Unfortunately, the season picks up again against informed Brighton, so we'll see if Liverpool will be able to escape mediocrity. If they do, it's going to be coming off the backs of Roman Hogg, Olivia Smith, and of course Hopinger. Wait, what's that? They signed who? I know every Liverpool fan saw that they signed Sam Kerr and thought this was the best day of their lives. Like, this is too funny. It may not be the Sam Kerr they wanted, but this is a really great loan move for a quality player. The team also loaned in Julia Bartel from Chelsea, so yeah, they're making moves. Maybe they will have a late season push. Who knows? Not me. I have no clue. Of course, right after I edit the whole video, this happens. No notes, great signing. She's very much needed there by far. Probably their best player. So I can't tell whether Gareth Taylor is actually good or if Arsenal and Manchester United are just incompetent. My guess is the latter. Still, Man City hold on to second in the league, 1 point above Arsenal. The problem, why is Chloe Kelly not playing? It's been generally accepted that she'll leave the club as Taylor doesn't really play her for some reason, instead opting for youngster Aruba Firgino. Jess Park has also become a regular starter, but that's kind of been expected. The weird thing is Taylor just said that Kelly is their player, whatever that means. So he doesn't want to sell her? I don't know. Also, side note, is Miedema playing the midfield? What is going on? The whole thing is strange, especially when there are other problems going on. Like their last league game of the year, they lost to Everton. How? The team is practically being held together by Bunny, Hasegawa, and Kasparai's girlfriend's TikTok content. At least Keating's back. Arsenal might jump them for second, possibly sooner rather than later, as City's first WSL game back from break is against rivals United. They also still haven't got over the Chelsea hump, losing 2-0 in November. This is what happens to a club when they run Julie Blokstad out of town. This team would honestly be pretty likable if it weren't for Skinner and Millie Turner. Why would you post this on Instagram? You know your teammate's gonna get racial hate for it, you stupid. United seems to be doing a lot of things right for a club that's only 4th in the league. Again, another indictment against Skinner. They should be doing better. Bringing in Celine Bizet from Tottenham so her and Grace Clinton could stay together has been a stroke of genius. The two players have played really well off each other. And the club just signed Jade Riviere to a new contract. And Elizabeth Turland has been a very exciting player since her transfer from Brighton back in the summer. There's a lot of things that have been questionable though. While the club is getting Ella Toone back from a 2-month injury, she wasn't really in form when she did play those games. And she is 1 league game away from a 007. Chasing Katie Zalem out of the club, which was captain back in the summer, was weird, to say the least. On top of that, this man is just taking no accountability for when things go south. The club had a frustrating run of draws in November, starting 1-1 against Brighton, 1-1 against Arsenal, then a 0-0 draw against Villa before finally getting things back on track against Leicester City. I would say this isn't like them, but they only have a 5-year history, so who knows. Somehow the club is still tied on points with 3rd place Arsenal, and may challenge for second if City slips up, which is looking ever more so likely. However, all these clubs may shoot themselves in the foot, and I don't know what would happen then. While Tottenham don't have a huge issue scoring goals, the way they score goals has kind of been really one-dimensional. Losing Grace Clinton and Celine Bizet has not been great for them. The club is currently in no man's land behind overperforming Brighton, but above the middling teams that are fighting for mediocrity. The club had a rough November-December, getting routed 4-0 by City, then 3-0 by Arsenal the next game. After briefly finding their footing, they ended 2024 with a draw to Brighton. Honestly, it's amazing Tottenham are in 6th, the position they finished last year after losing 2 of their better players. The club has been well managed by Robert Villeham, though, despite all of this. Honestly, the club is just Finland FC, and I love it. Evelina Suneman has been great all season. The Haley Rasso signing, though, has pretty much failed so far to really fill in Bizet's shoes. So we'll see if younger players like Lena Gunning-Williams and Matilda Vinberg step up in the second half of the season, but it's been pretty quiet so far. Jess Naz has also been called up to England quite a bit recently, but she needs to do more statistically for this team. Really, the only goal-scoring threat is Bethany England. They need to do something about that defense, though, as they have allowed 23 goals so far this season, second most behind Crystal Palace. So the fact they're high as 6 is really just a nod to how dependent they are on England and the midfield scoring options. It's just frustrating because if Tottenham managed to keep Clinton from United, which I know is not realistic, though, but keep Bizet along with her, they could really be contending for something more. Last but not least, well, it is third least, I guess, West Ham. The Chrissy Mewis signing was fun, but now she's pregnant and barely played anyway, so I don't know if that's more of an indictment on her playing abilities that she couldn't get into the squad, or if West Ham are just woefully mismanaged. Probably both. They're only 3 points clear from relegation, and their first league game back from break is against Chelsea, so take what you will from that. There is good news, though. The club renewed Starlet Anouk Denton to a long-term contract. They also renewed Amba Tisiak's contract. That's kind of where the good news stops, though. They're literally battling relegation and really haven't brought in any players this window. Like, what? If Asai and Gori continue their form for this season, the club should be fine, but it really feels like they're settling. I really wish their team was as well run as the team's Instagram page. It's beautiful.